All right, so we're gonna go on ahead and get started. Welcome everyone, in which this is a small showcase of a mobile application. It's mainly just in testing phases. I do like to build these just to kind of build reusable components, kind of put them together and showcase how you can use those on screens. So again, this is just a small little mobile app and we'll actually get into it. So let's take a look here at the main screen. And the reason why I do this is only because sometimes it's hard to kind of showcase. Well, for one, looking at resumes can be quite boring. So let's take a look at a small little mobile application here, starting with the home screen here. It's definitely a nice layout where one can say that it might be a little busy, but it is slightly organized as well. We do have a couple of icons, bottom navigation. This is React Native for iOS and Android, which will allow for you to build, for both platforms. Of course, utilizing your JavaScript, HTML, CSS, and of course TypeScript, and of course all within a JSX foundation. But here we have the home screen, and we'll start with the hearts here. So, and again, it's a medical app. I'm a huge fan of the medical field. There are no favorites at the moment. So what I can do is I can go to the actual doctors, and I can do that by just clicking here. If I click on one of these reusable cards, which is definitely nice, I can click on a number of different hearts. And then from there, now we can go to the actual favorite screen or page. And of course, now those cards that I hearted are there. Now, of course, because this is, we're using a global state for context API, of course, if I wanted to unheart these, then of course they would immediately disappear. And that's because with React Native or React, your components are actually based off of the actual data. So it's a picture of picture your applications basically reacting to the state of the data. When the state of the data changes, then the cards associated or the components associated with that will then change as well for the UI. So if I unheart these, they'll actually disappear. Now, what else can I actually do here? So now that I unheart those, there are no more there. Now, there's multi-functionality here. There are ratings, as you can see. A lot of this data is stagnant. I just kind of brought it in just because it's easier to kind of build that before the backend team is ready for the APIs. Now, of course, there is a login and registration built for this application. I did not use it here in this showcase, but it is tied to MongoDB and of course, and utilizing Node for the actual API routes. But let's get back to the actual cards here. If I were to click on a doctor, I could then call the doctor. I can open up a chat. Can't do that with the actual emulator right now. But and same thing with the actual camera. But what we could do, or if I was using the device, I'd be able to actually make those phone calls to the actual doctor as well. You could schedule an appointment here, but first let's go to the actual chat. And hopefully, if my subscription is still paid, I'm using openai to actually utilize their AI services. So let's see, hey doc. Let's see, I can say, hey doc, my elbow hurts. My elbow hurts. All right, and then I'll send that for this particular doctor here. And of course, the UI here, it's not the best, but it's mainly just to kind of showcase the actual usage of the API endpoints. So if I send that, see what type of response we get, and immediately we get the I'm sorry to hear that elbow pain can be caused by a variety of reasons. So I can ask any particular thing, for this feature. I do like how the name is brought in because we're bringing that data in from, it's an array of objects that is globally set via the context API. But of course, you can actually bring that in using a service as well. So let's actually close this. We'll end the session with Dr. Papandrea. And now if we wanted to schedule an appointment, we can book an appointment. So now one appointment is actually booked. And of course, with the routing, it's set to actually bring you back over to from the home or off of the doctor's page now to the scheduling point. And we could go back to home and go back to some additional doctors. We can click on an image. We can book another appointment. So we'll do that. And so now we have two appointments here. We can reschedule, or of course we can cancel. I love how the reusable cards here are, are structured in a way where you can basically, once the cards are done, that's the fun part, building the actual card. But let's cancel that. And again, based off of the state, those immediately disappear. So that's the doctors, where I like how you can kind of showcase and continue to, put in a number of different doctors. But let's see, what else do we have on this application? So that was the actual doctors. I believe the notifications, I don't believe we actually set this up as of yet. It's something that I do need to add. On a previous project, I did have two different ways to showcase different types of push notifications. As of right now, these are static. And you could slow the video down if I'm talking too fast. Sometimes, depending on if I'm sending this as a file or loading it on YouTube for someone to view, you have that ability to slow it down or speed it up or skip ahead. But usually I kind of talk fast just to try to keep the file relatively low. But so let's see, where were we? So those were the actual notifications, which we can change. I'd like to color coordinate these as well, depending on if it was an appointment canceled or a success. So the new could probably stay the same, but I would probably want the calendar to have a different color theme. So that's something that I'll have to place on a personal list here. So that's the favorites. Those are the notifications. How about the medical checks here? Now, of course, this app is more themed towards the medical field. But of course, for any industry, you can use these charts. I do like to build different charts. These are all the same colors, but you can definitely change those as well. But it's always good to possibly see this on your watch as a notification for let's say if the stress levels for the particular week or for the month of March or the week or the day hit a certain level, then of course you receive some type of notification, which is definitely nice. So these are always good to showcase via mobile charts, which is definitely nice. And I believe I am using the Chart.js for that. So let's see. So those were the medical checks, favorites, notifications. We do have a profile here as well. If you did want to set up the notifications, premium member, payment options, you can definitely utilize as well for different types of features or things that were actually done at the actual appointment, in which you can see a couple of different charges here. I would like to add some Web3 technology or some crypto technology for an option for payment, but as of right now, it's just kind of using the standard Visa. And I believe it's Stripe that we can actually use. I did use that in a previous project as well. But there's a number of different third-party payment options for you. But let's go back. Let's come out of the actual area here, in which you can stay on a profile page. There's so many different adjustments that you can make to this page. But again, even though this is more of a medical type of application, you can definitely think bigger and break this down into any particular application, whether it's for finance, crypto, whether it's for athletics, you name it. The possibilities are definitely endless. And maybe I'll do another video showcasing a restaurant type of application that I've built as well. So that's the profile. That's the top, pretty consistent around the board. Let's click on the general tab here. There's about 8 of them, but it also showcases how you can really break down an entire mobile page. And it is a big phone, but a lot of the Pro Maxes are pretty big. But this is yet another screen to just kind of showcase, some mental health, healthy eating, stretches and exercises. It's always fun to kind of utilize your thumb or finger and just kind of scroll to the left or the right or up or down. And of course, go through these options. I love how there's the chat component here. If you were to click that and open up the chat, that's not implemented, but I do like the option of, really keeping the user engaged with so many different features in this medical application that you can apply to any other type of industry. So of course you can click on that and continue further down the line, and really just keep the user, staying on the actual application, which is the key to success for any mobile application. You want for the funnel or the conversion or the engagement, you want those to be up and you want to have a specific task. And usually it's just spending time on the actual application. But let's close this, and you can have a number of different options here with the same type of theme. And we were at the appointment page where we actually seen the booking of the doctors. Here are the the actual meds or medications. So if you wanted to search here, so this, I'll put like DO or let's see, NE. So you'll actually be able to utilize the filter and search. So in this particular case here, I'll just click on, I'll just, what ends in an IN. There we go. So I'll just choose aspirin. And then, of course, when I click on that search field there, or on the actual item that I searched for, now you're on like a product details page or a medical details page, where now in the next funnel or hop is the actual information about the actual medication, when needed, what should I take it with no juice or no alcohol, and of course a small little description. And of course, don't take these, word for word. Some of this is just for kind of showcase. So you might be able to take juice, with some of this stuff. But one of the next things that I like on this particular page here, or the feature of clicking on that filtered out item, is where to buy. So now when I go where to buy, I have these pins where I can click on that, get information, where you can see the Walmart pharmacy comes up. And of course, let's see if I click on this one here, organic pharmacy, and of course some prices as well, which is definitely nice. So you're really expanding the actual app and the features here. So let's continue. We'll actually come out of here. We'll go over to the map. This other map. Well, it's funny because we were on the medications page, which has a map, and now we're on the doctor's page, right? So this is where you can actually filter based off of a rating. So for any doctors that have a rating of over 2 or 2.5 or 3, and then of course you can see there's one doctor that we have listed with a rating of 5. You can click on that doctor. Not the best modal that pops up, but it's general information that comes up. We can obviously change that to your specific specs or UI outline. But let me close that. Now, of course, if I were to change the rating here, and these are fun to toggle because it's so easy to do with your thumb, right? So now we have a position of doctors that have a rating of 4.0 out of 5. But now we're going to change, like, let's say, well, there's no 4.0s that are pediatricians. What about cardiologists? Okay, so we do have a cardiologist. And of course, we can choose a male, but that was not a male, so we do not have one. And we'll change it back to female. And it appears right back on the map, and you can click on that. So that's a fun little nice feature that'll really keep the actual users engaged. And of course, they can figure out where the doctor is, and we can build on top of this. We can say, well, let's maybe use your location and see how to actually get to that doctor. So there's so many, the possibilities are definitely endless in that regard. But let's take a look here at the next feature here, in which we have some courses that you can definitely take. A number of different organizations and businesses are offering courses. These can be free, these can be paid. We can search for these courses. It's definitely nice, especially for in-house staff, to actually continue their educational needs and learning. We can kind of keep track. I like how I put the 12 lectures there, so it's nice and short. And if you were to click on that with the full detailed list as to what else was actually available, that would definitely be nice. So that is the actual options for schooling. And of course, I believe, there's only one more here. So small little application, but it has a major amount of abilities there. And this is again similar to the again using AI, openai services here. This one's not linked with the doctors. This was just if you just want to just general information, like how to apply for jobs. All right, and question mark, and then I'll hit send, and how to apply for jobs. And here I get all kinds of information. Now for the UI, I probably want this to actually kind of come in as if it was typed. That way it would come in as if it's actually being read to me. But it definitely it serves its purpose. And of course, the colors could be a little bit better as well. But I think that is really it. Small application, 6 bottom navigations. We could, of course, add a side panel for navigation as well. What else there's a number of different implementations that we could do to increase the ability or the functionality of this page here. But it's definitely just something just to kind of showcase how you can pack so much into a small application, which it then becomes a huge mobile true application itself. If you have any questions, feel free to email me at aarongraham518@gmail.com. That's Aaron Graham 518@gmail.com. That's AARONGRAHAM. And of course, if you have my resume, you already have my number as well, but you can definitely contact me there as well. All right, everyone, enjoy. Hope you enjoyed the small little showcase here with mobile applications, and I will talk to you hopefully soon and try to knock out that backlog. All right, Aaron Graham, out.